In the last video, we have discussed about the iron artifacts and the pottery, but today in this video, I will explain you about the social organization, that is a society, which is part of your ICSE syllabus. So let's go with the paragraph given on page number 21. In the Rig Vedic time or the early Vedic period, that is, we are talking about the Rig Vedic period, the first phase. The Aryans lived in villages, so we get the information the Aryan people, the people who called themselves Aryans, they were living in the villages. The family was a fundamental unit of the society. So in any village or a town, the basic unit is what? The family. And then the group of family makes a village, and the group of village then they make another kind of a tribe. So this is what we will study here in this paragraph. It was patriarchal. So patriarchal here, it means it was controlled and administered by the eldest member, male member, not a female. So I would like to differentiate here. The control of the men power was here, the domination was of men, neither not the female or the women. The women did not participating in administrating the society or a village. It was a patriarchal, thus I have explained it. So this means that the oldest male member of the family was its head. He was called the Grihapati or a Kulpati. So in each family there was a Kulpati, the eldest male member. The guardianship was controlled by him. After the death of Grihapati, the responsibility shifted to his eldest son. So as if the Grihapati die, so he is going to give his responsibility, transfer his responsibility to the eldest son of the family. This is what a kind of a transference of a responsibility is seen in the Aryans, and which continued in our culture. Now you will see how it formed the village, tribe and jan. Several families lived in a gram or a villages. So, and several villages form a visha. Many visha form the jana. The head of the village was the Gramini. So I would like to explain you in the form of a chart here, that a group of family, the family living together, they are living in the village, so that is known as a gram. So when the family live together, not family one family, but there are many family living together, they form what? Gram or a village. And the head of that gram or a village is who? Gramini. He will take care of that particular village and the family living in that village. Then the group of village, again together it will form what? Visha. And the head of the Vishya is called what? Vishapati. So this Vishapati, this person will take care of the group of villages. He has a responsibility to take that many number of villages under him. And again there is what? Group of Vishyas form the Jana. Finally the complete, when you will see the system here, the final the point is here that all together the village into Vish into what? Vishas. So this is what here, the group of Vishas forming what? The Jana. And the head of that Jana is who? The Raja, to whom we call in a different names like Rajan and the other way. Now what you will see, the king governed with the help of ministers. So the important officers include the Gramini, Purohit and Senani. So I have mentioned here the king was having a good, he used to get the advice from these many people, that is the Gramini, who is the head of the village, Purohit is a priest person, advisory person, and the Senani somewhat to control the military fight. This is what given here, the king governed with the help of ministers. The important officers included Gramini, Purohit and the Senani. The Senani was commander in the army and the Purohit performed the religious ceremony. So the work is divided here. Purohit has to perform the religious functions and the Senani has to take care of the military war battles. One thing is more, the administration of the village was carried out by the Gramini. This I have already explained. Now the king did not maintain any regular army. This I wanted to explain you, that as the later on when you will see the Sultanate or a Mughal, so they always had a standing army. But in the Vedic time, the head, the king, the Raja, the head of the tribe, the head of the Jan, they did not have any always presented standing army. So there was no regular army. Whenever there was the need to fight with the different jana or the tribe, so they used to call the people, call the Vishapati or the Gramini with the people to fight for. This is what giver. However, in times of war, he used to organize tribal group to perform military function. So there was no regular army. Now during the Rig Vedic time, the tribe elected a leader of its own. He was not as powerful as the one in the later Vedic period. So there is one more difference over here. In in the early Vedic time, the head of that tribe, they were not so powerful because they were advised by these many people, so they had control on the head. But in the later Vedic period, Rajan became more powerful and he took his own decision. Then in the next paragraph, in the Rig Vedic period, three popular assemblies known as the Sabha, the Samiti and the Vidhata advised the king. So as today in the modern time, we have the Lok Sabha, we have the Rajya Sabha, where the things are decided, the rules are made. So in that Vedic time, there were the Sabha, Samiti, where the king used to get the guidance. Now we will discuss here separately. So this is what the Vidhata was, the earliest assembly which used to perform all kind of functions, economic, military, religious and social. So every kind of things related to the administration, like having the grand fair or a assembly or a kind of a yag and all. So this Vidhata, this assembly used to take care of and advise. Now women actively participated in deliberations in the Vidhata. Here one point is that the female got the opportunity to participate in such kind of assembly where these points were taken out. Okay, then the next is the Samiti, was the assembly of the people, and Sabha was a council of elder. One difference again here, Sabha and Samiti, is what in Samiti all can participate, that was a general assembly, but Sabha was now confined only to the eldest member, the near people, the close people of the head or the Jan or the king or the Raja. So they participated. The Sabha performed advisory and judicial functions, so related to any matter they used to advise the Rajan. The Samiti was called the session on the special occasion. So when we have talked about Sabha, that were only by the group of people participated, but in the Samiti, the session, just like session we have assembly and also all can participate, that is what Samiti. So kindly don't get confused with the Samiti and Sabha. Please write down separately and understand it. Now one thing is, what were the changes here? In the later Vedic age, kingship became hereditary. So now what happened? The post of the king, the Raja, the head, it was now hereditary. The son now got the post after the death of the Raja, so that it became a hereditary. And divine element came to be associated with the king. Divine element means it was assumed that the as he has become the king, he is a representative of the god. So whatever decision he is going to make, that has to be accepted as the decision of the god. So this is what the divine element. This period marked the beginning of taxation system and administrative machinery. So later on what happened, the taxation system developed and the king, the Raja, took a very great role in administrative machinery. So during the later Vedic age, the popular assemblies lost their earlier importance. So what we have discussed in the earlier, that Vidhata, Sabha and Samiti, so later on in the later Vedic period, these assembly, these Sabha, they lost their importance as the king became very powerful. Now the Raja became very powerful. He took his own decision regarding any such kind of a matter. This is what, there is a change in the later Vedic period. So you can see the Sabha and Samiti came to be dominated by the chief and the rich nobles. So here the people who were the member of Sabha and Samiti, they were being dominated by the chief, the head of the particular area like Gramini, maybe the Senani and the rich nobles. So women were no longer permitted to attend this assembly. So earlier you have seen here in the Vidhata the women participated, but in the later on the women were not allowed to participate. They did not get the opportunity to participate. Now coming to the position of women, during the Rig Vedic period, women were respected, so they get a great role of respect in the family and even in the administration. But that was lost during, as the period gradually transited, and then you will find in the later Vedic period the women lost their position. The institution of marriage had become sacred, so that was the marriage institution, as today also we take it as a pure, that was also that time sacred. The daughters were given freedom to choose their husband, so that time they had the right to choose their partner. So that system was good for the early Vedic, but later on that was a great change, as you will see. So they had the chance, they can have a remarriage of widow was prevalent if the husband dies, so the women can have a choice to marry again. Then you will see there are no example of child marriage. The marriageable age in the Rig Veda seems to be 16 to 17. So what the age mentioned in the scriptures, that the women can be married, the age for the marriage for the boy or a girl, that was 16 or 17, 16 to 17. In the later Vedic period, it was significant decline in the status of women that we have seen earlier. Their participation in yajnas was not considered necessary. So now as slowly with the transition from the early to the later Vedic period, you will see how the women lost their position. They were not allowed to participate in assembly or the ritual practices or to participate in any important decision when it was taken. So they did not enjoy the right to property. Right to property, again here it means that they cannot get the property of their father. The female were outcasted from inheritance of the property, that was only dominated by the son. The freedom to choose husband by women was curtailed. So now what happened, the thing got little bit restricted to the female, as now they were not allowed to choose as in the early Vedic it was there. Now coming to the class division as it is given in your next part, you can see that the early Aryans called the local people living in the Dashins. So when these local Aryan people, when they came to this region, they called the people who were earlier who were living in those areas, they were known as Dashyos. So this is what the name given to the local inhabitant, and did not mingle with them. So here I would like to explain that Aryan did not try to mingle with the Dashyos or the people who were living earlier. It was during this period that the tribal chief, the head and the priest acquired large share of booty. So what happened, these Aryans, they got the benefit and they got a good amount of resources, wealth, which they utilized to divide. This is what given here, and then with their strength and politically and economically, it resulted in the class division. So then you will see there was a division of the people, division of the class. First time this class division was seen in the Vedic era. That was warrior who were involved in fighting, then the priest who had a function of religious, all those rituals. Third is your the people in common, and the fourth is what your Shudras. At the end of the Rig Vedic era, you will find this fourth one. Earlier only the three class people were found. Then there was no taxation, as economy was pastoral and not food producing, since there was no agricultural practices as much in good amount. So the pastoral economy will not obviously generate wealth. So the taxation was not common. In the early Vedic period, the society was divided into different classes based on their profession. So according to the profession, the people had the choice to have their occupation. This is what given here. There was nothing like a rigid profession that they had to do, apply, or to have such particular job only. So that depend upon their choice what type of work they wanted to profess or to have in their life. A person could adopt any profession of his choice. But the later there was a change where profession became hereditary. So in the later Vedic, you will see there was change in thinking. Now the people became they try to adopt the profession of their father, which further developed into the strict rigid society, giving birth to caste or the Varn system. So now you will study how it gave birth to the Varn system or the caste system. That is your Brahmins. Earlier they were the priest class, as I told, priest now had changed into what? Brahmins. The religious rituals, so their function is what they were involved in the religious rituals, all the important religious yag, puja and everything, they had to be done by the Brahmins. Then second was the Kshatriya, who participated and involved in the wars, battle. Their duty was to protect and defend the people of the kingdom. Then the next you will see here is your Vaishyas. They engaged in the business and agriculture industry. So they looked after the economy of the society, that was business, doing agriculture, and the manufacturing industry like pottery, making of the weapons. And the fourth is what your Shudras served all the upper classes. This is what given here, that we came to know about the Shudras as the fourth class in the end of the Rig Vedic period. So this is what given in your book. When you will read, you will come to know. What I would like to explain here again, the changes which came to be known as stated earlier, during the later Vedic age, the caste system became rigid. So now earlier the people had a choice. According to the choice, they can have any profession, but now it became very strict. The Brahmins now enjoyed the major functions. The Brahmin and Kshatriya enjoyed many privileges, so they got many such privileges which other people or the caste people did not get. The priest came to be considered as god on earth, and Kshatriya also increased their power and came to be regarded as the ruling class. So Kshatriya is what here, the ruling class. All the three higher Varnas were entitled to Upnayana or investors with the sacred thread according to the Vedic mantras. So intercaste marriage was not prevalent. So this is what here, they cannot have a marriage in the Brahmin into this other segment like a Vaishya, or the Vaishya women cannot, or a male cannot marry to the Brahmin caste. So intercaste marriage was not at all a kind of a prevalent. They did not have any such kind of a choice, and they were not allowed also. So please go through this part and try to understand. In the next video, I will explain you about the 4 ashrams. So hope so you are going through the chapter and make the notes. Thank you.